G'day there, it's Dan from ptdirect.com here, and today I'm going to talk about the fundamentals of delivering great personal training sessions. I've got my Swiss ball with me today, and it's actually in the best state for delivering really good sessions, i.e. it's completely deflated and I can't use it. So I'm going to get rid of it. Now, I'm not actually dissing Swiss balls, they certainly have their place. But as personal trainers, we need to be really careful of thinking that the tools that we can use are most important in delivering great sessions, as opposed to just developing a really good understanding of our clients and what they want and need in particular from us to keep coming back for personal training sessions. Now, there are three really key elements to delivering a great session. Firstly, that session has to be effective, surprisingly enough, because people do want results. But just as important as being effective, the session has to be experientially rewarding and emotionally pleasing. Now, these are just as important as being effective because they're the keys to keeping the client wanting to come back time and time again. Because clients only achieve results with their training if they actually repeat the training experiences enough times for those results to actually come true. Okay, now at ptdirect.com you can download and use our guide to delivering memorably great personal training sessions that will be really good for your business. Just follow the guidance on the page there. And in that guide we're going to talk about four really key things to delivering great sessions. These are, firstly, that you match your sessions to your client's training stage. Now, hopefully by now you would have noticed that all clients aren't the same. We categorise clients into beginners, intermediate and advanced clients, and they're all going to need a different approach to delivering a great session. We need to tailor our sessions to your client's DISC. Now, DISC is purely an acronym for a personality profile developed by William Marsden, a psychologist, and it's simply an acronym for the degree of which we are dominant, influential, steady or compliant. Now, all your clients are going to have different degrees of how much or how dominant they are in one or more of those areas, and for each individual person you're going to need to adapt in order to communicate most effectively with your client. Thirdly, we're going to hit your client's sweet spot every single time. Now, in terms of an experiential sweet spot, clients are going to be very different. Quite often as personal trainers, we rely on education to deliver our value, and for some clients that's going to be a great experience. So for clients who really want to learn about exercise, of what exercises do, how it benefits them, if you deliver education you'll be doing a great service for them. But not all your clients are like that. Some clients really want to escape being told or lectured at for another hour because they'll probably get enough of that at work anyway. So they might just want to escape and have the opportunity to chill out. Now, we have to be able to know what our client wants in experience so we can deliver that time and time again. And lastly, we've got to obey the holistic laws of personal training. Now, by holistic, we're really just talking about understanding the whole body. So not just working with the musculoskeletal system, but also working with the limbic system, i.e. the brain and the nerves, the endocrine system, the hormones, the gut and the viscera. Now, we're one of the few health-related professions that have the ability to work with the entire person, and that really enables us to deliver huge value to our clients. Okay, so I'm just going to spend a little bit of time talking about each of these four fundamental components of a great session. So we have our beginner stage clients, our intermediate stage clients and our advanced stage clients. Now, beginner stage clients make up the vast majority of gym members, up to about 70% of all gym members, and they're classified by simply being the members or clients that have not yet established a consistent exercise behaviour. So they're turning up quite infrequently. What they really need is addictive exercise experiences. How we deliver exercise or addictive exercise experiences is by being really good with our consultation process. So finding out lots of information about what exercise they've tried that they like so we can build on that, what exercise they've tried that they don't like so we can eliminate that, what they like in their exercise setting, i.e. do they like to exercise indoors or outdoors? Do they like to exercise with other people or on their own? Because when we gather that information, we can make sure that we can tailor exercise experiences that they will want to repeat time and time again. Now, our intermediate stage clients make about 15% of the gym population. Now, they have a consistent exercise behaviour, but what they're not getting is results. Now, bear in mind that if people are turning up and exercising consistently enough, they should be getting results. So if they're not, something is going wrong. We can't take an approach of just getting them into the gym and taking a hit and miss approach to just delivering sessions, because more often than not, you're going to miss. And even if you do get a good training experience, you're not going to know why it was good, so you're not going to be able to repeat it. So what you really need to do with your intermediate stage clients is investigate. Sit down and ask them lots of questions. Ask them what they're doing. Have they made any progress, or have they got progress written into their training plan? What are they liking about the exercise again? Because by gathering that information, it'll become quite clear what they need to do to get back on track. And our advanced stage clients also make up about 15% of the gym population. And all they really need is a little bit more challenge and maybe some specialist skills in certain areas. Now, as personal trainers, we tend to be quite good with these advanced clients. Why? Because they're actually present at the gym. And they're doing training that is advanced in its nature, and by virtue of that, it's the type of stuff that we actually quite like. So inadvertently, we end up spending quite a bit of time with these people. Example of a session that we might deliver to an advanced client. Say they're doing lots of lunges, and they've progressed quite well with these lunges, but they haven't done any walking lunges yet. So we take them through a session when we have them holding dumbbells, marching up and down the gym, up and down some stairs. And they love that because they feel it for the next couple of days. Their legs are a little bit sore and they think that's a great new training experience. And that's fine for our advanced stage clients. The problem is that we're delivering too many of those type of sessions to our beginners. And all that they're experiencing is pain. So we're overtraining these beginners. They're taking a week to recover and they're feeling pain the entire time, and their only experience of exercise is this is hardcore, this is sore, and I'm in a constant stage of pain. Is this what exercise is really going to be like? That's not addictive at all. So you need to take special attention to delivering your sessions based on what stage your client is at and what you're trying to achieve at each stage. Okay, I'm just going to have a really brief run through of the DISC personality profile model. It is covered in much more detail in your downloadable guide to delivering great personal training sessions. Remember, DISC is a personality model divided personality into 4 identifiable personality traits, namely how dominant people are, how influencing they are, how steady they are, or how compliant they are. Now, all of your clients will have elements of all 4 personalities. What will differ is how strong they are in 1 or 2 of those areas. And that will give you an insight as to how they will behave most often and how you need to adapt your behaviour to suit them. So we have the degree of how dominant people are, how influencing they are, how steady they are, or how compliant they are. Dominant people are very driven and are often found in leadership positions. Influencing type people are very social, very enthusiastic. Steady type people are quite relaxed, they're team players, they're very calm. And compliant type people are very analytical, very precise, and very detail orientated. Okay, dominant and influencing people tend to act quickly, whereas compliant and steady type people are much slower in their reactions. Influencing and steady type people have a people orientation, whereas dominant and compliant people are very task orientated, and that gives us an insight as to how we need to adapt our behaviour to suit. So if you find that you've got dominant clients, you need to be really quick. Don't waste time with these people. Be focused, be to the point, and always keep that focus on facts and ideas, not on people. Because remember, dominant people are fast and they have a task orientation. Whereas influencing type people have a people orientation, but are also fast. So we need to be social and friendly with them, and we need to listen to them, because these type of people are the type of people that will just love to talk. Avoid lots of detail. Again, they're people orientated, not task orientated. But because they love talk, sessions can get away on us quite quickly with these type of people. So we need to find ways to help translate all the talk into action. Okay, steady type people. Again, a people orientation, but slow type actions. So we need to be interested in them as people, but we need to avoid rushing them, because steady type people don't really like a whole lot of change. So we need to be careful with things like the variety exercise principle, which means we don't need to change every session every single time we train them, because steady people quite like routine and don't like change. Lastly, compliant type people. We need to make sure that we're really well prepared and patient with these people, because these are the type of clients that will ask you heaps and heaps of questions, and it's all about the detail and gaining information for them. So be well prepared, be patient, and again focus on fact, because the compliant type people, a little bit slow but very task orientated. Okay, that's an insight to DISC. Plenty more of it in your downloadable guide. Now we're going to have a look at how to hit the client's sweet spot time and time again. There are 4 experiential elements that make up a great personal training session, and your clients are going to have a sweet spot that originates or orientates around 1 or 2 of those elements. The elements are the aesthetic, which refers to everything about how the personal training session looks; the entertainment, which refers to how engaging the session is; the education, which refers to what your clients learn from the session; and the escapism, which really refers to your ability to absorb your clients in the session so they forget everything else that's going on around them. Now, for example, many of your clients may well be nervous in the exercise setting and feel quite self-conscious. That might give a strong indication that their experiential hotspot is around the aesthetic. Often as personal trainers, we think that we need to get all our clients out in public display in front of as many people as possible and give them lots of advanced exercises to show our skills. Now, if we have beginner clients who are very nervous and very self-conscious, what would probably be best for us to do is actually exercise them in a quiet area of the gym where they're not so self-conscious. As personal trainers, we often orientate our training experiences around the education, because we think that our value is teaching our clients lots of amazing things about exercise and lots of new exercises. However, that's only good for people who have an experiential sweet spot around education, which certainly isn't everyone. Take, for example, a client that might be a guidance counsellor at a local school. They may spend just about all their working day helping students deal with their problems. If they have a bunch of adolescent kids as well, they go home and they spend half of their home time helping their adolescent kids deal with their problems. So exercise may be their one opportunity to chill out, escape all of the world of problems, and have a little bit of time for themselves. And if we spent that entire time harping on about them, about all these amazingly great exercises, we might take away their ability just to escape and chill out for a while. And if we did that, it wouldn't be a memorably good training experience that they would want to repeat. Now, you can modify just about anything in your session delivery to cater to your client's experiential sweet spots. So you can modify the setting, the mode, the intensity, the communication. Those are the 4 big ones. As an example, say you have a client that wants to improve their aerobic and anaerobic fitness, and they really like cycling. We might schedule the session so that the spin room in your gym is free, and the session will take place in that spin room. We'll only be using the spin bike as they like cycling, And we might go down to the local DVD store and pick up a DVD of the Tour de France. We'll play that through the entertainment system in the spin room, if you have it of course. We'd make sure that our communication is enthusiastic the whole time. We'd stay away from the teacher type communication, and would have some intensity peaks throughout that session to match hill climbs during the Tour de France DVD. So that would be an example of how we can modify the setting to someone whose experiential sweet spot is largely orientated on the entertainment and the aesthetic, i.e. it has to look right, look like a great cycling experience. If we get that right, we deliver experiences that clients will look forward to repeating time and time again, and by doing so, achieve great results. Okay, stay with me because we've got one last thing to go over, and that's looking at the holistic laws of personal training. And lastly, but by no means least, the holistic nature of personal training. Now, as personal trainers, we deal primarily with people first and then training. People, or our clients, are made up of a whole bunch of physiological systems. So we have the limbic system, which consists of the brain and nerves. We have the endocrine system, which consists of our guts, our viscera, or all our internal organs, and the hormones that are released from those organs, as well as the musculoskeletal system, so all our muscles and bones. Now, into this multi-system picture, we introduce the concept of stress. And what we need to realise as trainers is that stress in one system will have an effect in other systems of the body. So in a perfect world, for example, I deliver a really good resistance training workout to a client of mine who wants to gain some muscle. Consequently, there'll be a release of growth hormone, and depending on the gender of my client, also a release of testosterone that will help to ensure that muscle is actually built. And over time, the limbic system, or our nerves, will learn the exercises that I'm getting my client to do and get better at activating more and more muscle to enable my client to lift heavier weights, which in turn will provide more of a stimulus for more growth hormone and more testosterone to be released to make sure that more muscle is built. Now, what we need to realise as trainers is that many of our clients will already have significant levels of stress in one or more of these systems. So for example, we might have a client with lots of limbic system stress. They are under the pump at work, their boss is riding them really hard. They get home from work and unfortunately things aren't great at home. They've got a fair amount of relationship stress, and also they have some financial stress. They've got a mortgage payment due and they missed the last mortgage payment. So there's some big money stress in the background as well. Now these stresses will have an effect in the endocrine system. So chances are a person with that much stress will have lots of adrenaline and cortisol floating around. And cortisol, known as the catabolic or breakdown hormone, is going to interfere with any muscle building or anabolic functions that we might be trying to achieve through our training. So the important point as trainers is to always remember to focus on the human in front of you and all systems that relate to training. Because sometimes the best session that can be delivered is not actually a session that's delivered in the gym. It might be taking your client down to the cafe, sitting down, having a cup of tea, herbal tea ideally, with them and allowing them to unload some of these other stresses to help to minimise their impact and ensure that when we do train the clients or get the client back into the gym, that positive stress with positive adaptations are occurring and we don't have stuff in the background that is going to be interfering. Okay, and lastly, use a plan to deliver great personal training sessions. Every session has loosely a start or a beginning, a body and an end. And in each part of a great training session, there are certain fundamental things that must be delivered. Now, follow the directions on your page at PT Direct here, and you'll be able to get access to our guide for delivering memorably great personal training sessions. That takes you through what should be delivered in the start, body, and the end of a great session, as well as explaining in a little bit more detail many of the things that I've talked about today. Okay, that's all from me today, folks. Thanks a lot for listening.